Yeah. Uh, Another day is here for us to sit with Osumafour Benjamin so that we go into matters in toto. Yeah, we are coming to discuss about Africa. You know that Africa has been lamenting over the slave trade that happened over some years back. Almost every black African that know that slave trade also have effect on them. We have this pain at heart that yeah, what the white people did to us is very bad. So I'm here with Togbe for us to go into history to let us know the type of people we are, what transpired in the olden days, whether it is true that it is our forefathers that sold us into slavery, how at all is the phase of the slave trade that we have been sold to some people. So ladies and gentlemen, watch this video. We are going for a commercial break. When we come back, we will continue. All right, you are welcome back to the segment once again. I'm here with Togbe Osumafour Benjamin again. So without wasting much time, let me go to Togbe so that we begin today's conversation. Togbe, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Togbe, slave trade. Slave trade in Africa is something that we have grown up and we've listened to so many stories about slave trade. What they normally tell us is that our own forefathers sold us into slavery. They were there. Some people drove shipped into Africa, and they gave our forefathers mirror. Then they gave us out. So you realize that most black Africans that are in America and also other parts of the country are being agitated that they hate Africa to the extent that when they hear that it is our own forefathers that sold us into slavery, they become very angry with Africa. Togbe, what is the face? How is the face of slavery? Is that story true, or how is it?
Thank you very much for this, because it's very important to me as well, because like you said, many of our brothers and sisters in diaspora, when I talk about in diaspora, I mean our brothers whose ancestors were taken by force from us and went into the so-called Newfoundland and worked without pay for over 400 years. And for some time, when I talk about this issue, I get angry. See, I get angry. And the most annoying part of it is that the one who wrote the story about the abominable thing he did implicated the black African who is here, whose parents were not taken or whose ancestors were not taken, telling them that we sold them. You see, that particular statement they are making is creating enmity between the two of us.
Yeah.
And I could see that some of the black Americans are highly angry with that issue. But you see, it is only those who doesn't even understand the black man that will get angry. But if you truly know the black man, because I've heard one of their leaders who is my best friend that I love, even though I've not spoken to him before, but I love that man, Omar Johnson.
Okay.
Because he speaks sense. You see, Omar Johnson, I love that man, seriously. And I would have wished to meet him one-on-one. Anyway, I'm not going to America because I don't need to go there. But I will wish that one day he will visit here and meet me face-to-face, one-on-one. We'll sit down and this. Because he is the only person that speaks, that touches my heart. He has never spoken to, have the feeling that those of us who are here are his enemies.
Okay.
No. He always say he's fighting for his people.
Okay, then.
So, Professor Omar Johnson, I love you. My brother, I love you. Yeah. Okay. Talking about whether we sold the people or whatever they are claiming, it was. You see, to me, when they talk about trade, let's come to the theories.
Okay.
When they talk about trade, how do we see trading? Trading is about two parties, the vendor and then the buyer.
Okay.
That is how I see trading. Okay, so if you have something that you want to sell out to somebody, where do you go? You go to the marketplace to display that whatever you want to sell. Okay, now I want to ask them, those who said it was a trade, how was the African man who never have any means of communication to a distance, even any means of communication to a distance of about even 5 kilometers away from his home, was able to call somebody who is thousands of miles away that he has a product that he's selling, so the person should come. If every sensible being, every man whose brain is functioning will bear with me that it never happened that way.
Okay.
Okay, so how did it become trade? If it never happened this way, how did it become a trade, as they are claiming? You see, instead of them to let the whole world know that they invaded the people and took them as captives of war, as prisoners of war, they are causing commotion that it was our ancestors who sold their ancestors to them and sold them for what? For dollars or for pounds or for euros?
They say mirror, powder, and
nonsense. Who brought civilization? Who brought all these inventions? Whereas my ancestors has already built an aeroplane, aircraft, and everything in Egypt and Mesopotamia. There you come and tell me, my people, that you know what is mirror. Fuck you, man. You see, in fact, it gives me. I became angry. I become angry when I hear that nonsense that it was a trade that we sold them for mirror. What is mirror? There could be other African people who never see mirror in that time.
Okay.
But not my ancestors. I am American, a Hebrew, a true Hebrew, whose people have been stolen by the enemy, motherfucker enemy. Then he comes and tell me that I sold them. Who understands family system more than my ancestors? Our family system is not my wife and my children alone. It's a very broad system. A system that my grandfather's cousins are all included. With his children and his children's children, they are all included as my family. That is how we make family in Africa. You see, our families are not just my wife and my children. No. You see, my mother's sister, my mother's brother, all and his children are my family. Okay. That is African family, I'm telling you. So the African family tree is very huge to the extent that the next city or the next village is my uncle's children. The next one is my grandmother's sister's children. The next one is my great-grandfather's cousins. So that is how it was. So who will sit down and say, Mamma mia? Sometimes I hear these things and it bothers my mind. It worries my mind. Sometimes I will see some black people saying all this nonsense that, and they sold them, who sold them? And for what?
Okay, so actually, that's not how this whole story is.
The story is just that they invaded the people, and then we resisted them. But as they are having guns, and we have bows and arrow, they were able to overpower us, and then took some people as prisoners of war.
Okay.
And as they hold the gun, we became afraid of the gun, and that is why, in one of our stories, the Fantis, when they put the gun beside the slaves, and the person was about to go and have a easy himself, he has to beg the gun to give him permission to go and ease himself. Yes.
The slave is begging the gun.
Yes, because he has experienced, he has seen the gun killing his ancestors, his brothers and sisters. So the fear of the gun was in him.
So instead of him to even take the gun to fight back, he was rather...
Yes, he was rather afraid of the gun. The gun was just there. then he said in a tree, major two, men two mom why, Namikajon Somaba. You see, that is, Mr. Gun, don't shoot me, I'm going to ease myself and come back. You see, it was the fear of the gun that made our people submitted. We never sold anybody because now, if I have seen the gun punishing somebody, killing other people, and then,
well, let's continue.
If I've seen, there are some chicken who are disturbing us here. Sorry. You see, if you have seen for the first time, not knowing about gun, and you see that gun has shot somebody and killed the person.
The person is down.
The person is down and cannot wake up. Automatically, when you see the gun, you'll be afraid. You see, so anybody who holds the gun, any instructions that he gives you, you will comply.
Yeah.
That does not mean that it is your wish to do that thing. You see, so when they took some others captive, they used some of them to be like their foremen who has to control their own people on their behalf.
Oh, okay. So they hold them captives and they allow some of the black people to rule.
Because the black people were afraid of the gun. So when they give you instruction that, okay, look after these people, then you have to comply, even though it is not from your heart. You see, you have to comply because of the fear of gun. So this is what actually took place. It wasn't a deliberate thing that a black man will say, mamma mia.
The reason why I'm saying this is that sometimes when we talk about America, when we say America is the devil or America is the mastermind behind all these bad things that are happening in the world, some of our African brothers and sisters that are living in America become annoyed that if America is evil, then how come we can't compare America to Africa, because America is evil, but America is able to take care of his people that are living on the streets. And we Africans, we rather sold them and they are now there. They don't even know, they can't even trace their family. So that's how...
Excuse me to say, anybody who have at the back of its mind that his people sold him or his ancestors, please, you have to, clean your brain. You have to reason very well. It is simply because you don't have any idea how the African family system works. You see, because now you have been fed with the ideology of white man. You have been brainwashed with the white man to believe that your family is your wife and children. But we have brother, like I've already said, and no one will go and sell his uncle's children. No one will go and sell his great-grandmother's sister's children. No one will do that. You see, even, let's see, according to a letter written by King Leopold of Belgium, the second of Belgium, he said he came to Africa, he never see a thief, he never see a criminal. Can't you people read this and know that what they are telling you about slave trade is just to brainwash you? They came here, they saw how decent we are, how God-fearing we are. And now they turn back and come and tell you that we sold you. And you believe that, man. Please. You better work on your brain.
Some people are also saying that our forefathers sold the stubborn ones out.
Nobody will sell his stubborn child. Nobody will sell. You see, they are just trying to frame some things. If my child is stubborn, does it mean I have to sell my child to somebody I do not know? What the hell is that?
Logically, it doesn't make sense.
You see, stubbornness was not just something like the person wakes up and starts killing his brothers or his sisters. Okay, if I should send my child to go to the farm and weed, and the child doesn't go, does it mean I have to sell it to a stranger that I don't know? You see, all these are just trying to dodge the evil they have committed. They are just using brains to try to dodge the evil they have committed. You see, the genocide they have committed, they want to push the blame on somebody. How can you? And we also stupidly agreed and accept that fact.
And because we don't have people like you that will tell us the truth. What have been written in the book is what we are following.
Okay, that is why I say, before you read the book, better go to the preface and then understand the person who wrote the book, the idea which made him wrote that book, and from where he got the information, the source of that book. You have to read the preface of every book to understand it properly. You see? So to me, there was no trade. There was an invasion. There was an invasion. And people will say, oh, but Ashantis fought other people. And so, you see, Ashantis were there. And then they went and said, oh, let me go and fight maybe Dagati people. Excuse me to say that. I am just making an analogy. Let me go and fight Dagati people and come and sell them. No. No, not at all. Apart from being a different tribe, the black man was a very decent person. The black one was a God-fearing person. He knows that if I do this to that person, the gods will hold me responsible. And therefore, the fear of God was in us. That is what King Leopold II told them, that unless we deceive, unless we lie to these people, we cannot penetrate. So why can't you people? The letter is on the this thing, internet. Everybody knows that letter. It was not a copyright. It was a plain letter that he signed. The document is still there. So why can't you people read that and know that the white people knew the lifestyle of the black man? That the black man was not a thief. The black man was not a killer. The black man, just imagine, we comply with the rules and regulations because we believe that there is a supreme God, that any evil thing that you do, you face the punishment.
Yeah.
And therefore the fear of God was in black people before the white man came to destroy that fear. You see? So to me, all that they are saying is absolutely nonsense to me. Anybody can believe that, but I know that it is never true. Unless you come and tell me when the African people established a slave market, put their people in chains there, and communicate with the buyers that you should bring a ship to come because we have goods. Unless you prove that to me. You see, people should stop annoying me. You understand? With all this nonsense.
There were some people who are in Jamaica, some people who are in Jamaica are saying that they are also descendants of the slave trade that happened in Africa. Let me just use the term like that because that's what we know. But they happen to trace their DNA and realize that they are from Ghana. And some people also argue that the name Jamaica is even an Akan name or a Ghanaian name. What about people in Jamaica? Are they from Ghana?
In actual fact, that is fact.
Okay.
That is a fact. You see, the Jamaicans are Akans, mostly.
Okay.
But there are other African tribes that are involved.
All right.
But most of them are Akans. And the word Jamaica, as I have known, mean maybe we are stacked. That is the meaning. Maybe we are stacked. Jama Yaka. We can't go back again. Okay? Because when they go around, they see only the sea surrounding them. So how are they going to go back to where they come from? Then they said, Jama Yakao, maybe we are stuck. We can't go back. You see? And then also, there is another Akans who are in another part of Ireland called Guyana or Guyana.
Okay.
Yes, because I read about that, talking about Kofi and Atta being the leaders of that revolution that set them free. And in fact, according to the story, Kofi even decided that their national language must be Twi, and then Atta intervened. So that is how they couldn't make the Twi their national language. Otherwise, nobody even need to tell them that they are Akans.
Okay.
If they had used the Twi as their national language, it will be clear for everybody to know that these people are from this. You see. And then talking about the Haitians, actually the Haitians are Dahomey people.
The Haiti, okay.
The Haitians are Dahomey. They were taken from Dahomey.
Okay.
Yes, and then the Haitians performed a very amazing job. You see, of which shocked the whole white world.
Okay.
You see? Oh yes, of course, because the Haitians, leading by to what is the name?
That's it. Toussaint Toussaint Louverture.
Toussaint Louverture. He was the one who led the revolt. And in fact, they happily conquered France, killing about 200,000 France soldiers.
So that time they were under the rulership of France.
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. And the decision came that after we have done all this plantation, nobody is paying us. Why don't we take it by ourselves? Because it is we who did the whole job. So now somebody is coming to take it, then we go empty-handed. Then they started the revolt that, no, master, you can't take this because your hands was not there. We did it. And therefore, it started as a war. But one thing that saved, every African man should listen to this very statement. The thing that saved the Haitians, the thing that made the Haitians overpowered the French nationals, was the voodoo power. The voodoo power, that the antidote of the voodoo is not pig, as white people believe. I'm telling you today, you can go to voodoo power and then kill a pig there. He will accept it and work against you. Because you can't use pig to scare the voodoo power. Pig is what he eats. So what antidote will you say to voodoo? They use these voodoo powers to conquer the France. How did they make it? When the France shoot a gun and a Haitian fall down and die, then they use the voodoo powers to raise him back again to life.
Okay.
When that person comes back to life, no gun
will penetrate again.
Can kill that person. So that is how they, because all the people the France shot down, they call them back to wake up, come on, come back and fight. Then they will wake up and start fighting. Fighting. Now when the France shoot them gun, the gun that doesn't make it. So that's how they were able to butcher the France and kill all of them. Then the rest of them jump into the seas, run to the ship and fly away. Then after the French government of that time decided that, okay, the Haitians have made them lost money, so they have to pay them back. And the amount they call, something like, I've forgotten the figure, but something like, as far back as that time, $500 billion. So it took Haiti 120 good years to pay that amount. 120 years. That is what has made Haiti poor. Haiti was never a poor country. But the white people deliberately, after they have suffered the casualty of which the Haitians gave them to pay them back, they deliberately made Haiti poor for Haiti to pay that amount. Other than that, they brought ships of bombs and things that they are going to destroy the whole Haiti if Haiti doesn't comply.
Now, one agitation that someone brought to my doorstep was that upon all these things that France did to Haiti, America was not able to come to intervene or to stop France from doing that. So when you say evil about America, some people are in support because they know what America did to them, and some also of our people in the diaspora also support that. Why are you talking bad about America? Because America, that you are saying is not good, is taking care of its citizens as compared to us in Africa.
America is taking care of his people on the expense of other nations. That is the fact. America doesn't work to feed his people. America rob, kill, deceive, take what belongs to others to feed his people. Is that fair? Is that what we call human right? Is that what we call human right? America is feeding people by robbing other people. That is the fact. He is feeding his people by robbing other people's children of their right. You see? So if that person says America is feeding his people, go and ask him, how does America feed his people? Okay. And then people are saying, why is that America does not intervene in Haiti and France controversy? Oh, it looks as if you don't know. It looks as if you know. The devil does not want peace. And the devil does not want any happiness for any other person. That is the fact. The devil never wants any other person to be happy on the planet. Neither will he see any person enjoying his resources and let the person enjoy it. Who killed Patrick Lumumba? Who killed Gaddafi? Many people who have been leaders and been assassinated. It was not any other nation but America. You see, we don't hate people. We hate their attitude and behavior towards us. The attitude and behavior towards other people is what we hate. You see, why can't they be fair? Yes, you print your dollar. Use your dollar, let me use my own. Yes, you print your money, use your money, allow me to print my own money. If you think your economy, you are the best economist, print your dollar, allow other people to print their money. If anybody is going to buy something, let the person pay in cedis. Or if the person is having rupees, let the person pay the person in rupees. If I'm coming to America to buy anything, then I come with dollars. Then let's see who is performing better than the other. But you see, you are holding people hostage and calling yourself, allow people to also operate. Let's see. You see what China is doing. In 1960s, when I was a very young boy, if they show China on television, you hardly see cars. You will see bicycle, tricycle, and all those things. This is what you see. When the red light shows, you see bicycle, and then you see human being turn to horse, carrying human being like a taxi. This is what China was. But as China stood firmly and operate by his own laws and rules and regulations, you see now everybody is afraid of China. He has come out from the pit that he was in. So those who obey the instructions and rules and regulations of America will never survive on this planet. Will never, because he has no good thing for you. He only think of himself. It is good for everybody to think of himself, but think of yourself. Leave others to think of themselves. Why do you want to hold others hostage? Why don't you think of your people and allow others to think of their people? For instance, look at Gaddafi. When Gaddafi was alive, Libyans were living in paradise on earth. Then they saw that Libya is living in paradise. Others in America are living in hell. So now we have to destroy their good effort to create paradise on earth for themselves. You see? They will label you as a dictator when you are doing good things for your people. They will give you so many names as you are doing good things for your people. So every black nation must become aware that once you see any leader whom they have labeled as a dictator, it means that person is not succumbing to their orders, their diabolic orders. It means that person is serving the interests of his own people, not the interests of them. And therefore, they will give you many names. Every black man in Africa should open his brains on Paul Kagame of Rwanda. He is helping his people. And we are watching whether they will call him a dictator. Because if they want you, that is the label they will give you first. So the moment you hear them calling that man a dictator, you should know that they want him out. They want him out so that they can get what they want. Immediately they come to see that the Rwanda has become like Mama Gaddafi's Libya, and Rwanda is enjoying, then they will start call Paul Kagame a dictator. Once you hear that, know that it's a deliberate. So don't support them at all. Allow him to rule his own people. Then you sit in your continent and rule your own people. That's all.
So if you are saying our people have been held captives and they've been sent to plantations to go and work, you said some people work for other people and they refuse to pay them. Was that the agreement before they hold them captive to that place?
There wasn't any agreement that go and work for me.
Okay.
You see, when somebody comes with his gun to topple you, he takes you captive and he decides whom he wants you to be. Oh yes, he decides whom he wants you to be. In short, you become his property. That is the idea. You become his property. You see, which is very, very diabolic, very, very inhuman. Yes, because in fact, sometimes I used to sit down and say, animals are wiser than human beings. Despite what we think, the inventions, the camera that is in front of me, the cars, the everything, animals operate with peace and harmony than we, the human beings. Because no animal will sit down and think that we are too many in the animal kingdom, so I have to kill some of them. No animal will think that way. No animal will think that, okay, the water that we all drink, let me go and poison it so that people will die, other animals will die. No animal. You see? So those who think like this, should we say the animals are wiser than them or what? They have to answer me. Oh yes, because if an animal will not think that way, and somebody who called himself a human being, claiming that he's the image of God, is thinking way. Please. We need to straighten things. We need to straighten things because after all the devices you are devising in a laboratory to destroy millions of people, how long are you going to live? I'm asking you, the laboratory attendants who is designing all these mosquitoes to come and kill people, how long are you going to live? Have you asked yourself? Don't you know that you are just fooling? Yes, of course. Because if you want to kill as many as you have planned, you better ask yourself, how am I going to die and when am I going to also die? If nobody kills you, you will surely die.
So when some people are in America, they believe that America from the beginning was a black man state and they have never been into slavery. The people there have not been into slavery. Is it true?
Leave those guys. It's just that they can't find their roots in Africa. That is why they, in the first place, they wanted Africa to be one country so that they can easily belong. But it is working slowly for them. So now all they have to say is that there wasn't any slave trade. There wasn't any slaves taken from Africa. They were all there. But there are evidence and proof. There are evidence and traces of proof that people were taken from here to that place. Okay, when America, the whites were taken there, which people did they met? They met the Red Indians. The Red Indians are not black people. Even though black people have lived there so many millions of years before the Red Indians, the Mongolians entered there. But you see, originally, these people went there to meet with the Mongolians, who are the Red Indians. They weren't Africans. They weren't black people.
Okay.
You see? So whoever wants to say his ancestors were in America, okay, you should go and face the white people. You should go and face the white people whether they will accept what he's saying. When there is every evidence and proof that people were taken from Ghana, then you alone comes to say you were not taken from. Okay, go and search for your roots and claim. Fight hard. Go to court. Let them accept you.
So why is it that some Indians, when you look at them, some are white and some are black?
Oh, Indians. Because I mentioned Red Indians. So that's why I asked this question.
Because if I still get confused. So some Indians, you see them, they are black like me, but they have that white man's hairs. And I say,
of course, yes, in the sense that I've once said it and I'm saying it again. The whole globe was blacks. The whole globe was black. That is the truth. Russia was black, China was black, Japan was black, India was black. Even the Indian blacks were very indigenous like me and you, who have the same hair texture with us. You see? And these people are called the Jawara people. They don't even put on clothes as at now. And very beautiful and black people, our brothers. You see, they live there. But they have been pushing them aside so that cameras will not get them. You see? So in general, the whole globe was a black man's land. That is why sometimes some people say all blacks from Africa, I disagree with them. It's not true. Africa occupies every part of the globe. The black people, I didn't say Africa, the black people occupy every place of the globe before the black people created by birth the white man, the so-called white man. Just like we give birth to the albinos, so did we give birth to them also. You see? So
when someone was giving a claim, let's watch this video. After that, I will ask you a question concerning the claim that the person was showing us.
The real name of Africa is not Africa. Africa was given to us by the European and the British when they came to colonize us. And the real name means something great. But the word Africa in itself means a place of horror in Greek. So why exactly have we forgotten the name of our father? It's very simple. Over the years and years of our history being erased systematically, we have no option. We just call ourselves Africans without even knowing the real name. Now, the real name of Africa is called Alkebulan.
All right, welcome back. Togwe, there was this claim that Africa, the name Africa is called, as in the video I've just showed them right now, Africa was formerly called Alkebulan. Alkebulan. That was the meaning of Africa. So Africa was not the real name of Africa as at the time of slavery or the first year. Is that the way? Is it true?
Okay. For me, every word that comes out must be proven by those words. Where can we find the word? Which people speak that word? So that we go to them, then we ask them the meaning of Akabuland. Anyway, what I know is land. Is what we know land.
English, yeah.
It's an English word. But Akabu is where I don't know where it's coming from. So maybe those who are saying that should prove us. You see? They should prove us. You see, there is something that is going on. In fact, I get worried because history, it keeps on distorting the history. And I want to explain thoroughly to the people who are making those claims that Jerusalem was not in South Africa. That portion of the land that was called Kenas land was never in South Africa. They can find a bone, a skeleton in South Africa, which is about 30 million years. Who cares? We don't care about how many millions of years that bone is. But the fact is that Jerusalem and the nation of Israel was never, ever in that part of the land called South Africa. Let me explain why these people are assuming all this. I've explained this some time ago, and I think I have to keep explaining it. You see, we talk about the global map being turned upside down. You see, the global map has been turned upside down.
Okay.
And that is what we are seeing today. That is what is making America showing up. Britain and others up. Then now, what was supposed to be the North Africa has now become the South Africa.
Okay.
So this is what we are talking about. That the ancient global map was opposite what we are seeing today. So in that turn, America, Europe, and everywhere will become down. Then African south of Africa will come up. So the Africa country will show at the top. Then all the Europe, Britain, and all the Europe and America, North America will turn to South America.
Okay.
That was the original globe. Australia will go up, and then China and Japan will come down. This is what we are talking about. So when it happens like that, when it was like that in the ancient global map, then it means the Middle East is rather on the southern part of the globe.
Okay.
So Jerusalem and Israel will show on that map at the southern part. This is what we are talking about. Then people don't understand. They take it to be that Jerusalem is in South Africa. What kind of South Africa are they talking about? Then it gives the Bantu man the audacity to claim that he is Israel. I beg to differ.
Because it has been so many.
I beg to differ, please. Please, because everybody, those who know that the original Israelites are in western part of Africa, and specifically the Gulf of Guinea. And Gulf of Guinea is in Ghana. You understand me? So don't distort history. If you are looking for your history, just go and look for your history and leave the Israelites alone. Because for that one, you cannot distort history when I'm alive. Because I will prove you beyond reasonable doubt. Yes, of course.
I know we have treated that topic as to who the real Israelites are, but right now there are so many claims that as the Bantus have been claiming. So we'll find time and go biblically again to prove the tribes of Israel, for them to know that, yeah, because some people, they will watch this current video, then they will still be asking questions, who are the original Israelites, as the Bantus have been claiming, and the issue of Esau.
The Bantus can claim, but they have to prove. Everybody can claim. But all I'm saying that, prove your claim. Because I have proven mine beyond reasonable doubt. I can tell you. Yes, even what you people say in the southern part of Africa, Nyame, and all that. Nyame is a country. Ona.
Togbe, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Togbe is on fire. Togbe is on fire. So Togbe, let's end it here. We'll find different time for you to explain who the real Israelites are with the Bible. Togbe, give us your final advice to those of us who are in the diaspora that are annoyed with their fellow Africans because they believe that we have sold them into slavery and they are now suffering, and their suffering is being caused by us. Give them this final advice, then we bring today's topic to an end.
Okay, thank you very much, my fellow blacks in America, especially the black African Americans. Please, there was nothing like a trade. Like I've already explained, trade is between two people, the vendor and then the buyer. But in this case, our ancestors never had any market displaying their goods, that is human beings. And even if they had, assuming they had, okay, how were they able to communicate with the buyer who is over 6,000 miles away to come and buy their goods? Have you ever thought about this? Please think about it and stop that that evil that the man has poisoned your mind, and then you blame your brothers who can be welcoming you here. You see, the other day I saw Farrakhan speaking about why Africans go to beg for money and things like that. You see, Farrakhan, I respect you very much. In fact, you spoke nicely. But maybe you forgot one thing. The policies that you Americans have putting down for Africans, this is what is causing the problem of Africa. So why don't you also address this policy, the evil policies of America towards Africans? Because everything that they do is to fight the progress of Africans. So if they should leave the Africans alone and mind their business and let the Africans mind their business, don't you think the Africans can also do something? They give us wrong policies. Even those who are serious to help their nation, then they will push in economic hitman. Have you that kind of idea that this is how they torment and destroy the plans of the Africans? You see, so Farrakhan, please, when you are talking about all these things, I want to remind you about these kind of policies and the activities of the CIA against the nation they call poor. If we are poor, just leave us to be poor. And then go with your riches. Let us mind our own business. But they will never do that. So Farrakhan, please, address that issue too. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Osuma for Benjamin. We'll call you again when the time is due. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching us on Osuma4 TVGH and also Xylos Media. This is where we'll bring today's topic to an end. We are talking about slavery, whether it is true that our forefathers sold us into slavery. Togbe said it is not true, but rather the people invaded our forefathers and they were afraid of the guns and they have to kowtow with everything that the white man has said that they should do. This is where we bring today's topic. Kindly subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, and you will be receiving more of educative content. Until next time, my name is Mauto, aka Folumo, aka Miss Ogokwe. See you next time.